I guess I'll start over. At other times, the self appears to assume the forms of the mental modifications. You seem to have lost your original identity and have identified with your thoughts and body. Suppose I ask you who you are. If you say, I am a man, you have identified yourself with a masculine body. If you say, I am a professor, you are identifying with the idea gathered in your brain. If you say, I am a millionaire, you are identifying with your bank account. If a mother with a child, a husband with a wife, I am tall, I am short, I am black or white, shows your identification with the shape and color of the body. But without any identifications, who are you? Have you ever thought about it? When you really understand that, you will see we are all the same. If you detach yourself completely from all the things you have identified yourself with, you realize yourself as the pure I. In the pure I, there is no difference between you and me. This is true not only with human beings, but with everything. You call something a dog because it has a dog's body. The spirit in a dog and a human is the same. The same is true even with inanimate objects. There is the same spirit in a stone or a wall. If I use the term spirit or self, you might hesitate to believe me, but if the psychist says the wall is nothing but energy, you will believe that. So using the scientist's language, there is nothing but energy everywhere. Even the atom is a form of energy. The same energy appears in different forms to which we also give different names. So the form and name are just different versions of the same energy. And according to the yogic scientists, such as Patanjali, and even many modern scientists, behind the different forms of energy is one unchanging consciousness of spirit or self. That is why, if we could calm our minds and get to the basis of all these modifications, we would find the unity among everything. That is the real yogic life. That does not mean we are indifferent to the changes and become useless to the world. Instead, with the experience of universal unity, we function better. We will have happy and harmonious lives. Only then can we love our neighbors as our own self. Otherwise, how is it possible? If I identify myself with my body, I will also see another person as a body, and the two bodies cannot be one. They are always different. If I identify myself with my mind, nobody can have a mind exactly like mine. No two individuals have the same body or mind, even twins, even to the extent of the half-inch square thumb. We are not the same. Ask the fingerprint experts. They will tell you no two fingerprints are the same. But behind all these differences in the self, we never differ. That means behind all these ever-changing phenomena is a never-changing one. That one appears to change due to our mental modifications. So by changing your mind, you change everything. If only we could understand this point, we would see that there is nothing wrong outside. It is all in the mind. By correcting our vision, we correct things outside. If we can cure our jaundiced eye, nothing will look yellow. But without correcting the jaundice, however much we scrub the outside things, we are not going to make them white or blue or green. They will always be yellow. That's why yoga is based on self-reformation, self-control, and self-adjustment. When this reformation is accomplished, we will set a new world, a harmonious and happy world. That's why we should always keep ourselves free from these wrong identifications. So if anything stands up from that reading, to anyone specifically, we can take a few minutes and talk about it and share before we go into breath work and meditation. Would anyone like to say anything? Everybody's so quiet. So yesterday, I read that last night, and I've read that verse many times, and until now, I always think about how I cling to being a mom, being a wife, and more of the hats that I wear. And then yesterday, for the first time ever, this one line really jumped at me. Where is it? No, I can't find it. That is why if we could calm our minds and get to the basis of all these modifications, we would find the unity among everything. And the reason that that line basically popped up yesterday and spoke volumes is mostly because of what we're going through right now, where we were forced to slow down and sit and stay put. And the world, the whole world is working against the same thing, which in reality, the whole world is also always functioning as one. But right now, it's really, really obvious, more obvious than ever, because everyone is struggling with the same thing, with this whole virus and being stuck at home, not being able to go to work, not being able to go outside, not being able to do what we normally do. And thinking about that, if we were able to really slow down and stop more often, not because we were forced, not because something terrible was happening, but because we realized how important it is as an entire nation, as entire countries, as the whole world, just coming together and finding time and space to honor the beauty that's in each and every one and everything, which is so much bigger than this I that we relate to. You know, me, this person with my curly hair and who runs around teaching yoga and juggling my kids and everything else, and going way, way above that. I don't know if anyone relates to that reading in that same way or completely different. If anyone else has anything to share.
I can share something, Colleen.
Colleen.
Oh, no, I was gonna say sometimes I find it difficult between like the way that I judge myself and the way that I feel like I'm being judged. I feel like sometimes it gets really easy to get like lost in that, and that like sometimes I do have to like take a step back and like just kind of like there was something I was listening to yesterday that was like, well, I was meditating. It was like, you know, thoughts are going to appear, but just instead of trying to like grapple them, just like let them go.
I think for me, a lot of the things I thought about last week, I started posting things on Facebook about being happy and gratitude and my family. And one of the things that came up for me was maybe I shouldn't do this because people are going to judge me and say, well, why are you so happy and grateful about things when people are dying and sick? And it was a split second. And for this reading, I thought a lot about how I'm always trying to justify who I am and explain to people who I am. Well, I'm this, and I'm a mom, and I'm a teaching assistant, and I realized that I put so much stock into explaining to other people who I am, that they might be uncomfortable with me, instead of just enjoying who I am and focusing on that instead of trying to show them who I am. And on this day I do this, and on this day I do that, and on this day I do this. And I've been forced to just be and focus on what's important to me instead of what's important to everybody else.
And we've all slowing down. Well, it can go both ways. We can either sit with all of it, right, and go deeper and embrace all of that, and embrace more than of the hat that we wear, or try to still keep running from it, stuck in our houses, because that still can be done. Anyone else? So even taking this time in the morning, getting together every morning to read something from the Yoga Sutra, which is like the yoga Bible. It's inspirational, it's eye-opening, and it gives us these rules to live by. And they're not just for when everything is hunky-dory, but to keep doing what we try to do when everything is perfect. It's not like about somebody going in a cave, right, to be quiet and do their yoga when everything is perfect, but being able to still be and like be kind and stay calm and be loving, even during this time of frustration. And it's harder, it's a lot harder. Coming back to this, like looking at my kids last week when my son was going nuts, and it was getting hard in the house because he gets really, really loud. So everybody was getting irritated by this kid. And thinking about this line now, it's not I and it's not him. We're all connected. And everyone is going through all of this as one. And again, going back to that line popping at me yesterday, it's for the first time ever. I was talking to my great aunt yesterday. She's 86, and she said, I've never seen such a thing. I've been through the war, I've been through this, I've been through that, but nothing has ever hit every corner that you can see of or think of all at once. And hopefully after we get out of this, at the end of this tunnel, we can all remember, and not just us, I say all in general, to remain connected and try to work as one. So we can do that. We can move forward, bettering the world, bettering each other, and lifting each other up. Anyone else? We're a quiet bunch. Amanda might be nursing.
Hi.
Do you have anything?
I thought it was really beautiful. The phone was down, so I couldn't hear who was saying it about stopping identifying with the external identities and just being. I know, I've been practicing a long time, but when that shift happened in me, it felt very liberating, and it almost like freed me from the constant melodramas of everything that people try to pull you into on a daily basis. And even to the extent of what's going on now, it's easy to kind of get pulled into almost like an irrational psychosis about the whole thing. And the yoga practice has really given me the opportunity to keep pulling back into that beingness and sort of like controlling what I can control and staying calm even when things are going wild. So it's definitely an incredible perspective to be able to take.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's like Vedic philosophy in a nutshell. This one, not my teacher always says this mantra: you're not the body, you're not the mind, you're something divine. And it's sort of something you recognize in meditation. It's like a weird thing that happens, kind of.
I
It's
know.
like suddenly you can watch your body like you're not even it, and suddenly you can see your mind going, and you're not even participating with it anymore. It's a pretty incredible thing.
Micheline, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I was texting with Kathleen yesterday. I had like a really emotional day yesterday, and I think it's important to recognize those. I love that you're posting, that Heidi's posting positive and stuff, but as long as it's really true and you feel that, this is my opinion, then like that's your authentic self, and people will feel that. But if you're forcing it, like I couldn't force it yesterday because it just didn't feel real to me, that all this gratitude, like I wanted to be angry and upset, and I was having a headache, and like I hate, even without all this zombie virus stuff, when I get a headache I get in a really bad mood because I don't feel like I deserve them.
Oh, no.
And so, but like I feel like yesterday was such a mental health day for me because I do meditate and I do listen to myself, and I feel I have a really strong practice with that right now. But I couldn't get out of my head. I couldn't untangle myself. Like I almost felt like, am I being hypochondriac? Do I have these symptoms? And then finally I was like, let me just stop thinking about all of this and just rest. Like and I'm just sharing this because maybe other people are starting to feel this, like, oh, I cough, and then I'm like, wait, do I have the virus? Like, I feel like I'm driving myself crazy. And the best thing for me to do is just, for me, I'm not saying this was for other people, was just to go sit down, and I took my book and I was reading, and I fell asleep for 30 minutes, and I just let myself do that, and I gave myself permission to do it. I feel like our minds are like taking so much control right now because they're having so much freedom, and if you're not used to taking control of the mind, you don't practice it, it's going to be really scary. I mean, it is for me, and I do that work. So I don't know if that really ties to the sutra, but that's what came up for me.
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, we've been going through a similar thing over here. Like, the baby had a fever for 4 days. So we were like, is it the flu? Is it coronavirus? We just ended up staying inside. There were no tests at that point. And then me and Mark started getting sore throat. So it was kind of like, if I didn't have the ability to master my mind, I really would have flown into a panic.
Yeah.
And me and Mark almost did a couple of times, and we kind of like made ourselves present, and you were like, okay, what can we do? And we just, we were gargling with turmeric salt water and drinking all kinds of Ayurvedic antiviral teas, and we feel better now, but like we really could have lost it, and whatever was brewing inside could have definitely gotten worse. And I think that's what a lot of people aren't thinking about, that like you have to manage your immune system through your ability to manage your mind, because your mind will completely wreak havoc on everything in your body. It was like a wild monkey, the yogis say.
Eric was like, it sounds like you want to be sick. I'm like, I don't want to be sick. I can't tell if I'm really sick. I couldn't tell.
I know, it's a weird thing.
I feel fine today. I've just exhausted myself. Like Micheline, I had a hard time getting up out of bed. I almost skipped this, but I was like, let me get up now, and if I'm tired later, I'll just lay down again.
I had well, I'm glad you hopped in. I had a whole conversation with Pierre, I think it was 2 days ago, sitting in the sauna, and he kept giving me the worst scenario of back home. And I had to stop him, and I said, you really need to stop, because I said, that's your, it's your mind throwing. I said, I can, trust me, you want me to go down the worst scenario lane, I will drag you down. I said, but you don't want me there. You want me here. I said, I need to stay here, because I used to get panic attacks and really bad anxiety, and I used to be a mess. I couldn't function on a normal day, let alone on a day like this. And that's, I said, you don't want me there, because if I go there, your kids don't have a mom around, you do not have a wife, peace out, you're on your own, figure it out. And it's important to just keep pulling back to this. And I'm not saying, go hop around and skip like it's all perfect outside. It's not. Be prepared and be aware of what's going on, but staying present and being in the now. And right now, we're all here. We're all good. We're all breathing. And keep pulling to this. And we're all going to have really hard days and hard moments. And I'm sure I'm going to have days where I just want to scream. But so grateful to just for all of you coming together and being able to talk about this stuff and being able to sit in meditation in a group, even though we're not in the same space. I think it's so important.
And look who joined me. He never joins me. You see him?
Oh yeah, now I see you.
He is.
So if anyone has anything else that they'd like to share, please feel free to do so. If not, we'll do a little pranayama. We'll do alternate nose breathing. So if you're laying in your bed and you wanna stay there, please feel free to do so. Just sit up straight. If you need to grab a pillow or anything or move against the wall, coming to a nice long seat and just close your eyes. And allow yourself to feel what's beneath you. Let the spine lengthen, the shoulders soften. Feel the breath flowing through the nostrils. And imagine sitting and being surrounded by a beautiful calming color, whatever that color is to you, whatever speaks to you that makes you feel safe, softened, comforted, secure. Something that makes you feel calm. Imagine every inhale, that color flowing through you, filling you up with a soothing sense of calmness. And on the exhale, that color washing away whatever is making you feel, might be making you feel rattled or uneasy. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling deeply. Finding 5 more breaths, just like that. Deep inhales. Deep exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale. Exhale. Finding 1 more full round. Inhaling deeply, feel that soothing, calming color flowing through you. Exhaling, let it wash whatever it is that you need to move out of the body, out of your mind, washing it away. And then using the right hand, either the 2 peace fingers between the eyebrows or closed. Right thumb will be used to close the right nostril. Right ring finger will be used to close the left nostril, taking a full inhale from both nostrils. Exhale deeply. Closing the right nostril with the thumb, inhaling deeply to the left nostril. Ring finger closes the left, hold. Exhaling to the right. Inhaling right. Close and hold both sides. Exhaling left. Inhaling left. Close and hold. Exhaling right. Inhaling right. Close and hold. Exhaling left. Inhaling to the left nostril. Close and hold both sides. Exhaling right. Inhaling right. Close and hold. Exhaling left. Taking 5 more full rounds at your own pace. Whenever you come to that last round, no rush, getting there. Making sure to finish off with the exhale through the left. And finding a few more breaths. And I'm going to set the timer for 20 minutes for our meditation. So if you need to grab maybe some water or get in a different spot, or if anything came up that you'd like to share, we can share quickly. Let the mind continue to soften. If the mind starts wandering, just keep pulling yourself back to your breath. I just unmuted everyone, so if anyone wants to add anything before we